What's up, guys? If you're in OnlyFans management or you're thinking about getting into OFM, there are key things and pitfalls and time sucks you should be fully aware of that you definitely will run into along the road of growth. And I'm about to share with you the main 3 issues I personally had when we were growing to the size we are now so that you can avoid these mistakes yourself. If you feel stuck in terms of growth, this video is for you. So I'm gonna keep this video pretty casual and short for the most part, guys, because I'm not really talking about specific traffic methods or systems here, but instead I'm gonna be talking more about methods of thought that I had to work on over time in order to become a better overall agency owner myself. Once I identified these problems that I had, I was able to scale much more effectively. So really the goal of this video is to give you guys a shortcut as to how not to make the same mistakes that I made for the longest fucking time. So the first mistake that I made that literally took me ever to change was that I didn't consider the importance of fully outsourcing our systems to people we hire to manage and grow them. And instead, I held on to the management of these systems myself way longer than I should have, which took up tons of time and really held me back from scaling in other areas, whether it was chatting or driving traffic or whatever. My issue was that I figured I was always going to be the best person to manage everything so that everything could be for sure ran as tightly as possible, when in reality, I should have spent that time training someone to be as close to a clone of myself as possible so that they can assume those responsibilities and I could work on other areas of growth for the business. Your goal as an agency owner should be to get as much as physically possible off your plate as quickly as possible by learning it yourself and then writing SOPs or like standard operating procedures and making video guides and then allowing it to run itself with a manager and a team that you hire. I had a hard time with allowing myself to trust people, which, to be fair, you should definitely be cautious about who you trust and not just blindly trust people, but I took it to the extreme, right? There are different levels of trust too. Like, for example, trusting someone with your bank account or your social security number is different from trusting someone to be able to chat or even to oversee all chatting operations within your agency. You need to do everything in your power to change your mindset from how can I get this done to how can I train someone else to get this done as early as you possibly can. If you do this, you'll save yourself weeks and even months of time. It literally took me months to figure this out myself. Now it's literally my goal to get everything off my plate, whether it's anything to do with traffic, chatting, or even things as simple as the structure of this video or the editing of this video to post to YouTube. You need to be the visionary and fearless leader within your agency, not the guy in the weeds of the work. Besides, of course, when you're of course learning the work yourself, you can't be a good leader unless you've done the work yourself. But the faster you figure out the fact that everything needs to be outsourced, the faster you're gonna grow. Now, the second mistake that I made had to do with getting new creators to work with us, especially when we were a small agency and struggling to grow. We literally had no strategy at all. We just spammed as many creators as we could with the same dumbass messaging over and over again, hiding my identity behind an agency logo or an agency name, exactly like every other fucking agency out there. There was no strategy at all, no personalization, no value being presented. And because of this, I found myself wasting tons of fucking time when I could have been using that time elsewhere for the business. I wasn't giving the creators I was reaching out to any reason at all to respond to me. I literally looked like every other single fucking agency out there. And since I now know that the majority of agencies out there are trash, I realized that I was presenting myself as trash and spinning my wheels way more than I should have. So to fix this, we did 2 things. The first thing that we did is that we developed a niche for our agency and hand-selected creators to reach out to based on a very specific area of expertise that we had about a specific niche for OnlyFans and provided value about that niche in our outreach messaging. So for example, and by the way, this wasn't our niche, but if you become an absolute expert in the fitness niche within your agency for OnlyFans through research and hands-on experience and strictly reach out to fitness OnlyFans creators and providing value in your messaging about the fitness niche and what you've done and what you would advise on, creators who are in the fitness niche are going to be much more likely to respond because it directly relates to them. And it's not just some random generic bullshit inapplicable message that they're getting in their DMs. The second thing that we did is that we personalized our outreach as well. So after we selected creators to reach out to based on a niche, we would pick out specific things about the creator's OnlyFans page or their social medias to use those as examples as part of our messaging so that we're directly providing value about them as a creator and their specific social medias. If it relates to the creator you're messaging in your outreach and your outreach is personalized for them specifically about their pages, they're going to respond. Obviously, Obviously, we developed an eye for the creators who we had the highest chances of actually responding to these type of messaging over time, which made this much more effective as well. But the other thing about personalizing the outreach is that I started using my actual name and an actual picture of myself to do the outreach with, rather than an agency logo and an agency name. I even started to make little videos going over these creators' accounts as well so that they would watch it and get value that way. I went the extra mile to make myself as memorable as possible to each creator we did this for, and it ended up paying tons of dividends. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video that really held us back from growing was just our general organization as it relates to everything within our agency. We were literally operating everything out of a mountain of Google Docs and Google Sheets, which were literally all over the place and kind of only made sense to myself and my partner, and explaining how everything worked to someone else was literally a project in on its own and was literally consuming way too much time. What we did is that we actually had someone within the agency who we recognized as being the most organized person assist with this, and it was eye-opening how much more efficient this made us. Also, we started writing things down as like a to-do list that we knew we had to get done the next day and stuck to it. We'd literally do this every single night and write down this list. I know this shit sounds super basic and simple and obvious, and I'm not really giving you guys groundbreaking advice here, but I'm sure the majority of you guys aren't doing these things, and because of that, your growth is being throttled. The biggest issue with this, though, was that me and my partner literally didn't realize that this was a problem until we had someone else look at it and basically tell us that we were operating way less efficiently than we should have been. Sometimes you need a new, fresh set of eyes and ears to look at everything from an unbiased perspective in order to find the change and organization that you may or may not be looking for, right? We just got so used to operating a certain way that we kind of just accepted it. So my advice here is to try to get some more eyes on your processes, and if you could find someone within your organization who can be openly critical of everything within your business, then I would use them. And don't take their advice personally either. Let them be critical of your systems and be constructive. But get fucking organized with your systems, guys. It'll change the dynamic of your agency altogether. All right, guys, but I'm gonna wrap things up here. But as you can tell, there's a common theme across all three of these mistakes that I just talked about. And it's that the point of all three of these things is to give yourself more time back in your day to grow everything for your business. You're the owner, and your main priority should always be pointing the business in the correct direction that'll make the most money for the business and making those executive decisions that'll allow you to continue to scale. If you're making mistakes by keeping yourself too involved with everything, you won't have any time at all to scale and grow, and you'll literally get stuck. And when you get stuck, that's when people fucking give up. So don't fucking give up. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. And as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.